So I want to keep this short and I want to keep this simple. Black Friday is literally a couple weeks away, depending on the time you're viewing this. And where most brands fail is they attract low bottom feeder customers during this Black Friday period. And when Q1 rolls around 2025, the following year, their business suffers because all of the acquisition they've invested into during Black Friday has led to what I call customers who provide no value for your brand because, simply put, they're only buying on discounts. So where most brands go wrong is having too much of an offer focused and not enough on actually building an offer that's going to raise the average order value. This is why I like bundles. This is why I like combining hero SKUs, because a user, especially a new user who's entering the ecosystem, is trying more value, more products of the brand, and they can justify that value exchange with their dollar amount. So then what's going to happen is, depending on the price point, either and depending on the niche you're in, right? It all depends on product. But the goal is we want to utilize Black Friday. We want to utilize these holidays, especially like Thanksgiving, Christmas, so on and so forth. We want to position ourselves when it comes to branding in a way that's lucrative so that we're not training users to just buy on discounts, but we're incentivizing them to convert by ordering more than one SKU. So this blueprint is going to show you how we apply this, especially for Black Friday, for your business. So that being said, let's dive in. Not much time to waste. So this is pretty simple. Why most brands struggle after Black Friday. And I want to cover just the ancient methodology of running a DC brand. Most brands run on the principle of you can acquire first-time buyers at a net loss. You can bank on LTV to turn a profit. You can rely on outside vendors to grow your business. And you can separate creative and media buying department. Now, every single brand under management within our portfolio has fallen into one of these categories because either A, they've listened to agency gurus on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Maybe it's because they've listened to consultants who have never ran a eCom brand, or maybe they just lack experience, right? So this purpose is, if we want to generate a profitable cash flow business, I understand that e-commerce has a lot of expenses, right? The average net margin is 10-15%. So if we can limit the amount of waste and the amount of burnt cash flow we're spending to acquire a new customer, that's going to benefit our business. So our approach is simple, right? We want profitable unit economics from first-time buyers, and then we want to increase the second order frequency on acquired transactions, right? So there's two value propositions. The higher up the ladder you go with pricing, the more valued that customer is. Because, for example, if you look at a customer that's only spending $50 with you compared to a customer who spent $150 with you in one single transaction, and you break that up within a 12-month period, and you see the LTV on that single customer, with higher value products, the likelihood of them coming back in a 90 day to a 6-month time frame is limited, but you at least had first order profit to get that sell. Now the goal would be, okay, on the post click or on the back end, like with email flows, with SMS, with downsells, with cross sells, with collection drops, so on and so forth. That's the job to boost the LTV, right? With ads, our main objective is to acquire new transactions. Can we do this profitably? And then as a byproduct, we want to understand the LTV for every offer we push, right? A higher AOV might not lead to an immediate second order, third order purchase, but that value proposition is that customer's worth over $400 within a 12-month time frame. Versus, okay, if we struggle with LTV, well, then I'm going down the ladder and I might look to just get to a 1.5x return. Maybe we're at break even on the front end, but we have LTV, right? So the goal as a marketer and to build a sustainable business is, yes, you want first order profit, but also I want to look at the health of my business, right? Do I have an LTV issue? Do I have a customer acquisition issue? Where is that? And then from there, I want to hone in. And then as we progress, then I'm looking at other layers of my business to expand that, right? Whether it's new products, new collections, so on and so forth. So the way we calculate profitable unit economics is by looking at the P&L sheet. We want to look at our MSRP. We have our cost of goods, shipping and receiving stock, transaction payment fees, pick and pack fees, shipping, fulfillment, return rate, total cost of delivery. And then you have your unit margin, your net target, and then you could play around with, okay, if my gross margin is 60% or 75%, then on average, I'm looking at a CPA target based on my MSRP at around less than or if I'm looking at the blended return target, then I'm looking at like a 2x, a 2.00, right? Depending on MSRP. Now, the beauty behind understanding unit economics is I know how I can lower expenses, right? It's either if COGS are too expensive, then I'm looking at manufacturing, right? I'm trying to negotiate terms with my 3PL, so on and so forth. If I'm looking at the CPA, right, from advertising, I notice my CPA is expensive, then I'm looking at that more as a creative issue, more as an offer issue, more as the first impression mechanisms that lead to that failure within the funnel. So as a marketer, I'm looking at everything outside of the business to determine, okay, what's bottlenecking this funnel, and I'm reverse engineering backwards to now fix that so I can scale. Now, secondary to that is implementing high AOV bundles, right? The way we can generate first order profit is by setting our AOV depending on your unit economics, but on average $75 to $100 AOV, right? That's kind of the updated philosophy, especially with e-commerce with rising acquisition costs, right? But instead of just pushing a bundle and spamming that and hoping it converts, we need a no-brainer offer because quite literally nobody's going to purchase $100 if they're unaware of the brand. They've never heard about the product you're selling. So we want to incentivize them with an offer that makes sense, right? So typically this is like a buy two, get one free, buy one, get one 50% off. When you buy X, you get a free gift with purchase. These kind of offer archetypes is what's going to generate immediate demand for that impulse purchase to raise your AOV. Now, when it comes to collection drops, right, as a business, this is going to boost your LTV. Now, how can we apply this theory and run this for Facebook ads with Google ads, so on and so forth? Well, it's pretty simple, right? You have your main campaign that's going fully broad. I know Meta got rid of DCT, but it's a similar structure where we set the budget at the campaign level. From there, we have two ad sets that are testing new creative concepts. One concept with two additional variations, two headlines, two variants of body copy. And then from there, I have a winner's ad set that's hosting all the post IDs. So I have a testing campaign. Secondary to that, I might have a scaling campaign utilizing ASC or Vantage Plus. I might also expand into catalog ads, and I might also expand into more ABO manual targeting for creative concepts if I have the bandwidth for that. But I'm literally using one campaign to push new offers, new products, new SKUs. Once I validate that in this test campaign, in this controlled environment, then I'm expanding horizontally with new campaigns, trying to scale that further. So you have up the vertical where, okay, you're launching new products, new SKUs. Actually, up the vertical, you have the same single SKU, and then you're building iterations up that. For example, if I sell t-shirts, if I'm going up the vertical, I might sell hats. I might sell something that's paired to that. If I'm going horizontal, then I'm releasing adjacent SKUs and adjacent campaigns and adjacent offers that haven't been tested before, right? So if I sell shirts, but I've never sold hats, then I might launch a whole separate campaign that's going to test this whole different product that's going to open up a whole new customer demographic. So that's one process with Meta, right? And you need creatives, you need the creative flywheel system, you need the ability to pump out consistent creatives every single week to really scale up your Meta ad spend. And then when you do this, right, and you're ideally pushing high AOV bundles here, then you can launch into Google, right? You can diversify because the customer journey is people might come across your brand via Meta or Instagram, but they don't convert, but they search your brand up utilizing Google, right? And if when you run Google ads, that's just another layer of protection to hit middle funnel, bottom of the funnel customer targets. So with that being said, right, when it comes to media buying mechanisms, I might use cost caps in a specific inventory. I might use broad, I might use demo campaigns, I might use catalog ads. It really depends on unit economics, the health of the business, but I have the skill set to launch any single campaign structure. But typically you're going to have your testing campaign and then your scaling campaign. And then from there, you might launch a catalog adjacent to that catalog campaign, sending traffic to purchase via catalog on Meta. Now with Google, right, it only makes sense once you're spending around $500 to $1,000 a day on Meta. Anything below that, I don't see it. Google, mainly you need consistent traffic to at least make profitable sales. If you're not generating any volume, utilizing Google as a channel for acquisition just typically doesn't work out. So that's kind of the layer of this, and that's kind of why we're positioning ourselves in this way, right? We're pushing high AOV bundles on Meta. We're testing. We have a testing campaign. We have a scale campaign. If we're pushing hard, then we're diversifying on Google. And all of this is done because we have the creative flywheel system. We have the creative mechanism to produce consistent ad concepts week over week. So that's kind of the blueprint with Black Friday. That's how we've applied this in our portfolio. It's mainly making sure that, okay, what offers are we pushing? What is the gross margin, all that? When we run this on ads, how profitable are we from this ad spend? And then it's reverse engineering backwards on ways we can expand and scale the business, right? Whether it's new product releases, new collection drops, whether it's adjacent angles, right? Well, let's say we're targeting women, but we have an angle that makes sense to target men for an evergreen offer, right? We're pushing that. We're raising AOV, but simultaneously we're understanding, okay, what is the average LTV per offer? Because higher AOVs might affect LTV. So then we might need to introduce a middle funnel or lower ticket offer that's more like a $29 entry fee or intro offer, right? Very, very low ticket, low pressure, easy impulse, right? And that's going to boost LTV. So as a marketer, I'm looking at the health of my business. I'm reverse engineering, and I'm looking at what targets I need to hit for Black Friday. And I'm utilizing high AOV bundles to generate that. Sure, you can run an up to 30% off site-wide sale, but know that the customers you're attracting, if they're unaware of your business, they're probably only buying because of that Black Friday offer. So don't expect LTV to hit from that sector of demographic, right? That's why we want to be cautious with our offers, and we want to make sure that the offers, the discounts we run, don't lower the value of your brand. So those are tips that I will utilize coming into Black Friday this year. If you have any questions, drop them down below. If you want the exact protocol to skip the phase of getting burned by ad agencies, check out scalevelocity.io. I help companies build in-house, and I set them up for exits. So you can learn more about my protocol at scalevelocity.io.